Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is January 20th of 2026. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears that CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to neutralize U.S. President Donald J. Trump, spawn a second global biological pandemic, and or trigger World War III. During the ongoing World Economic Forum, the WEF, in Davos, Switzerland. So as I've detailed in multiple videos, the World Economic Forum is essentially a de facto CIA briefing for multiple, hundreds, I should say, heads of state, members of the royalty, billionaires, and businessmen around the world, where they basically download the plan, the New World Order plan, the script, so to speak, of what's going to happen in the next 12 months. This is essentially where a lot of insider trading likely happens, where a lot of children are likely swapped in sex rings. A lot of dirty deeds done dirt cheap, essentially, is happening right now as we speak. I just discovered a plot for a Russian nuclear strike targeting Davos, Switzerland, to start World War III. So in the aftermath of that plot, which was foiled, the CIA is likely going to resort to other acts of terror around the world. So let's start firstly with the basics. As this video is being made right now, Donald J. Trump is airborne on Air Force One, currently crossing the Atlantic Ocean. If Donald J. Trump makes it safely to Davos, Switzerland, he will install his version, what I'm calling the Trump World Order, with the European Union, NATO, at this conference. Donald J. Trump is going to basically have a bully pulpit, and as I detailed in one of my last videos, he is going to be neutralized in some form or fashion prior to doing this. And so it's highly likely that either en route to Davos, Switzerland, or when returning from Davos, Switzerland back to the United States, Donald J. Trump will be neutralized, possibly most likely via the Israeli Navy, via a surface-to-air missile strike from a Dolphin-class submarine, German-made Dolphin-class submarine of the Israeli Navy that will be subsequently blamed on Iran, China, or Russia, or some sort of force majeure accident due to extreme weather, or something to that effect. Also, the possibility of Trump suffering some sort of a vascular or health-related event surrounding this meeting or while returning home is expected. They are trying to kill this man in every single way possible, and this Davos conference is the perfect opportunity because in the aftermath of Trump's demise, they will trigger World War III. That's the first and most important event. This event is started on January 19th. It's going to conclude on January 3rd. So for the dates of January 19th, which is past January 20th, January 21, January 22, and January 23, this is an all-points bulletin, red alert for the whole entire world. Switzerland and her CIA are going to stage apocalyptic natural disasters, most likely an asteroid or comet strike, 9/11 style nuclear terror attacks, nuclear intercontinental ballistic missile strikes, an act of war, a second global biological pandemic, or some sort of heinous CBRN related event. Coincidentally, I just published a report for a truck bombing attack targeting Austin, Texas, that would be subsequently blamed on American militia members and be used by the World Health Organization and the Red Cross, which are both headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland, with the CIA, to spawn a second global biological pandemic. So basically, in the next 4 days, well, the 20th, so the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. So basically the next 72 hours is because right now it's about 6 in the morning in Switzerland. Trump is ready to land. So this next 3 days is hyper critical, because Trump is trying to mold together what he's calling the Board of Peace, which is basically a replacement of the United Nations, to basically, because Trump has been trying to settle the Ukrainian war with Russia, and Europe keeps interfering. So Trump is like, basically, fuck you, and he's going to go over their heads and go directly to China, go directly to Putin in Russia, and in Modi in India, and try to settle this, where all the major countries of the world can come together and deal with problems without all the bullshit media and everything that the CIA has in their tentacles in. So this is basically, Trump has signed his death warrant, and he is realizing that Netanyahu and that NATO and that all these so-called allies in the European Union are basically just taking orders from the CIA and are basically giving Trump the runaround. I mean, he's been at it for a year, and he hasn't made any progress in respect to the Russo-Ukrainian war, because the CIA in Switzerland, who started this war, who is basically masterminded this whole thing, does not want peace. I've made so many videos of stating they do not want peace, because CIA headquarters in Geneva is exposed on a global level, and so they're trying to blow everything up, literally and figuratively. And so they are absolutely desperate to trigger World War III, and they have basically hijacked, by first in 2014, putting in a CIA puppet in Ukraine and overthrowing their democratic process, and now they have a Zionist named Vladimir Zelensky, who is hell-bent on obeying his minions, the CIA, which is also Jewish, coincidentally. Switzerland is the first Jewish state, and so they're trying to smash Ukraine against Russia to drag NATO and the United States into World War III with Russia. So that is what is on the plate, so to speak, for this event in Davos, Switzerland, the World Economic Forum. And so some sort of false flag, some sort of act of war, some sort of provocation. They've already tried to frame Russia for multiple attacks targeting everything from ships to airports with drones, from trains in Poland. And so some sort of false flag, most likely executed by the Israeli Mossad. There's also the high probability that they will try to stage some sort of major Russian incursion into Europe along the Russo-NATO border, possibly Finland, Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, Poland, Czech Republic, because they have essentially garnered a secret army. They always talk about the Dark Fleet, which is this alleged fleet of tankers that are Russian, but they're flying under false flags. They have essentially developed since 2014 the world's largest, possibly ever, shadow army, which is essentially all these Ukrainians that allegedly died against the war in Russia are all armed and outfitted in Russian uniforms and are going to attack Europe. And so this is a Zelensky special, which I've called it before, and this is the secret of Switzerland, is that they have, this is how we know that Switzerland is in control of everything, is that they have developed this secret shadow army of Ukrainian soldiers, and then they plan to attack either capitals such as Warsaw, Berlin, Vienna, etc., and storm it that way, or stage some sort of paratrooper-related attack, and so it appears as a full-scale German or Polish invasion of Russia. So it could go either way. So they could attack Europe as an alleged Russian force, or they could attack Russia as an alleged European force. So this is how it's going to go. And I have published multiple reports and made multiple videos about this, and this is what they're waiting to basically pull the trigger on. And I believe that they're going to do it during this Davos conference. And then Trump, upon hearing the news, will likely keel over. That's why they shot him in the ears, because when they are able to set off a nuke or stage a Russian, Chinese, Iranian attack or invasion, then they're going to say that upon hearing the news, Trump died of a heart attack. This is their plan. This is their master plan for Trump, is that they're going to stage something and then he's going to keel over and die. So that's what's on the schedule for the next 3 days. There's going to be some sort of major earth-changing event, a major false flag coming out of Geneva. So they've already briefed all these you could call them Illuminati, you can call them whatever you want, but they're the top of the food chain, so to speak. So you have a bunch of billionaires, a bunch of royals, a bunch of heads of state, a bunch of prime ministers, presidents, CEOs, and so they've basically briefed them about what's going to happen. And I believe that one or more of the aforementioned events is going to happen during this period of time, this next 72 hours, because they're already there. So in the event that something happens, so they probably have like stacks of documents. So okay, so if we can stage a Russian ICBM attack, then this is the playbook we're going to go. If we can stage an Iranian nuclear 9/11 style attack, this is the playbook we're going to go. If we can stage an Al Qaeda nuclear attack, this is what we go. So they have them all there already, and everybody's being briefed. And so this event is going to go down in the next 72 hours or so, and it will likely, I'm going to make a prediction here, that Trump will not set foot on American soil, and that he will die in Europe at some point in time, or over the Atlantic Ocean, but he will not return to the United States unscathed. So just to recap, some sort of major false flag event is expected, likely featuring the assassination of U.S. President Donald J. Trump, or some sort of CBRN-related event that's chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear, or a Russian incursion, a Chinese incursion, or an Iranian incursion of active war, full-scale attack or invasion is expected. And this is likely going to be false flag as well, and this is likely going to be executed on the ground via the Israeli Mossad, the Israeli Navy, or the Israeli Army. So basically, just to simplify it for those of you that are watching, basically the CIA in Geneva develops plans and plots, and then they disseminate it to the Israeli Mossad if it's a terror attack, or if it's an act of war, then to the Israeli Navy or to the Israeli Air Force to execute this attack. So basically, like for example, with the United States and Russia, they were just going to stage, it's called Empire Wind. It's off the coast of New York and New Jersey. It's this massive new wind farm, which is cover because they're placing thousands of tons of explosives beneath the water there to create a massive tidal wave into New York City, which they would say was a Russian nuclear torpedo. So the Israeli Mossad, the Israeli Navy is likely engineering this as we speak, and then it'll blow up, and then they'll say, because the Zionists control the media, they'll say that Russia was responsible, and then we'll go to war with Russia and the United States, and then World War III will happen while Israel skates. And this is how they do it. They've been doing it: Gulf of Tonkin, 9/11, JFK. You can go down the list. Virtually the last 100 years after the creation of the State of Israel on May 14th of 48. I guess Switzerland decided to distance itself, because before all the special forces, if you look at Switzerland's history, they were all coming out of Switzerland, and so they decided to distance themselves and create a Jewish state, and so they're executing the attacks on the ground in real time. So obviously, if any of the aforementioned events transpire in reality, I would kindly ask you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Peace.